Good morning, everyone. Welcome to AI Minute Mondays, where I take a couple of minutes each Monday to demystify AI for everyone. In the past, we have spoken about how AI is reshaping the way we work, how we write code, how we build teams, and organization culture. Today, we are going to dive into something that's a little more timeless as well as newly transformed: the art of storytelling with AI. Joining me today to unpack this topic is Sidharth Gurunath, a senior technical account manager at AWS. So, Sidharth, you and I have known each other forever, but for the sake of our audience, can you share a little bit about your journey?
Hi, Suchi. First of all, thank you for having me on your show. Super excited to be here. I'm Sidharth Gurunath. I've been with AWS for the last 3.5 years now. I've been an avid technologist for the last 2.5 decades, and I think I speak for everyone when I say generative AI has been one of the biggest inflection points of our times, right? And we all have the privilege of being in the front row seats of witnessing this change. As a senior technical account manager at AWS, I work closely with customers in helping them unlock value of their workloads in the cloud. And there is not a boardroom conversation that we had in which we haven't encountered generative AI being spoken of. We're trying to move generative AI away from, not away from, but have that level of inclusiveness where we can safely say that you don't have to be a technology person to unlock the value of generative AI.
Definitely. So, thank you, Siddharth, for sharing your journey. And you also started working on your doctorate as well. So, that's great. Let's dive a little bit more into our topic right now. So, storytelling, as we all know, is the way we connect, the way we persuade, and the way we remember. So, from the consumer ads on television, which tug at our heartstrings, to how we have customer conversations, to even how we probably ask a manager for a raise, it's all about the art of storytelling. So, we'd love to hear in terms of your journey and with storytelling, and more specifically, storytelling with AI, and what has been the impact? How do you see these conversations flowing? How do you see AI having a role in storytelling?
Right. So we've had customers in advertising and marketing effectively use foundation models to output hyper realistic pictures and animations that drive home the message of their advertising campaigns, right? And that has really been the central idea of using generative AI because with storytelling, as you can imagine, the central idea of weaving a story with plot lines and letting your imagination run wild um, is very akin to generative AI's whole concept. And so I extrapolated this whole idea and wove it into my whole content creation experience with the use of foundation models like Stable Diffusion, and there are quite a few foundation models out there that are very competent and just give you very fantastic results. Working with my customers on on foundation models like Pixtral and Stable Diffusion really got me awed with the scale and the precision of the images that they output. And it was only a matter of time that we started using generative AI for our storytelling experience as well.
Thank you. So, to share, how did you take this journey forward with your experience on a personal level in terms of building your narratives and your stories for your bedtime stories for your child? So, can you share a little bit about that?
Well, it starts with my child's pet peeves and the things that really move him. And we start with content that is close to his heart. He's passionate about cars. Uh, there are certain pet characteristics that he finds very amusing amongst his friends. We picked up on all of those central themes and central ideas, and then presented it to generative AI to work their magic. And the results were mind-boggling. Generative AI and these models could bring up very interesting plot lines, creative ideas and references, and also very detailed pictorials that helped me weave a story, augment the existing thought process into beautiful storylines that my child finds very fascinating and was very immersive, right? And because they were so relatable, I think he took an instant liking towards this new model of storytelling, and I was able to engage him a lot more effectively.
Thank you. That sounds amazing. So, like you mentioned, the storytelling is with AI for your child is something that's kind of been helped you even scale, having a new story probably every night, which is according to your child's area of interest. But it's not all great, right? In terms of when you're using AI, there are a lot of limitations and challenges. For example, the reinforcement of stereotypes or sometimes even culturally insensitive content, all because of the bias in the overall training data set, right? So added to this, there might be other issues like digital exclusion of certain segments of people because they are underrepresented in today's data set. And also any kind of security considerations, etc. So how do you kind of have you come across these and how do you basically deal with them?
Right. Well, the data sets that these foundation models have been trained on are quite extensive, and we frankly have very little control over them. Although they have been very essential in enriching our storytelling experience, occasionally there has been an upcrop of instances where the model outputs, well, not harmful content, explicit content, but subtle biases that, if left unnoticed, may creep into the subconscious of a child. And this is something that we kind of consciously look out for. The whole journey of a child from a passive listener to an active content creator is a very fascinating, but yet something that's fraught with a lot of pitfalls, right? And um, as a parent and as a human in the loop for the moment, I try to kind of help the child progress towards an unbiased view of the world by challenging some of the stereotypes that subconsciously creep into the storytelling process. For example, when you start with talking about a superhero story, um, his natural assumption that the central character would be a boy is something that I would directly challenge, right? Or a kid playing with a dollhouse, right? Does not necessarily have to be a girl. So these are subconscious biases which, over a period of time, in storytelling is actually a safe haven for a child. And in this environment, if you're letting your child know that it's okay to be different and it's okay for things to be to be challenged, I think that is a very well accepted view of the world, and the child is able to grasp much better in a safe environment. So I think that in a way has been a revelation for us. And generative AI has not just helped with the storytelling process, but helped my child overcome certain biases as well.
Thank you. That is super interesting to hear where you have taken the limitations and you've been able to convert it into something that is essentially helping your child break through those stereotypes, right? So, super interesting. Thank you for sharing this journey with us and all of our viewers here. And to summarize, generative AI is a big boon in the art of storytelling. There are a lot of possibilities, but you have to be mindful of the limitations. And as the human in the loop, you have to make sure that you are able to ensure that the stories that you generate or create are free from the bias and are more inclusive and help take the narrative further than where it is today. So thank you so much, Siddharth, for joining us. Really appreciate having you on the show.
Thank you for having me on the show, Suchi. It was great fun.
Bye.